this Sunday, big test, and it's a very big one because last season, I'll be very honest. When you guys came to the Etihad, I'll say you guys had more clear-cut chance than us. I remember two Gabriel Jesus chance and also a ball Bukayo Saka squared and also a ball Trossard was supposed to square. We had chances, but they were not really clear-cut like Arsenal. You guys had more clear-cut chance, but the game ended 0-0. And for this game on Sunday, if we happen to win, it's 5 points. We go 5 points. If we draw, it will still remain two. Will still be 2 points ahead. But if Arsenal win, Arsenal will be leading with 1 point. But how do you think this game will plan out?
I mean, how I think it will plan out is different from what I expect them to go and do. I expect them to go and win this time around.
Okay.
And I'm saying I expect them to go and win because I'm looking at the trajectory of how we've been against Man City over the years.
All right.
Consistency eventually will yield the result that you're looking for. We've been consistent in making sure we don't lose to Man City. 3 times last season we played them. We played Man City, you guys, and you didn't beat us in any of them. Forget whether, because people were saying, well, Rodri didn't play, De Bruyne didn't play. Well, we didn't have some players as well. We didn't have Thomas Partey. We didn't have players, and we had Aydin Ketia. We found a way to beat you, So the fact that we were that consistent last season, I think the fear of Man City is no longer there for Arsenal. Last season, when we came to the Etihad, there was a certain level of fear.
Okay.
There was a certain level of fear. So we sat back, we played back, and we made sure that we wanted to hit you on the counter, and it didn't work. This season, we might even come there and play the same style, but now we know how to do that, sitting back and hitting on the counter.
But Dai, I want to say one thing. The game against Spurs, if you look at Spurs didn't play bad. Spurs were actually getting into very good attacking positions, but their final third decision making was very poor. And the way I see this game, of course, I think Arsenal will probably play the same way, because if there's any way to beat a Pep Guardiola's team I remember when Ole was the manager of Manchester United, I was so scared to play Man U that era when Ole was the manager, because he dealt with us, because it was just counter-attacking style of football. But for this game now, if Arsenal allow Man City, to get into those kind of positions, the way Tottenham were getting, because we have quality, and if we get there like 5 times, we should be able to do something like convert.
But that's the thing with football. You don't have to. As a team that literally have the best defense right now in the league.
Okay.
Let's call it spade a spade. Arsenal has played the last 11 away games and have only conceded 3 goals in the last 11 away games. Scored 30 goals in that last 11 away in 2024. Mm-hmm. So we have a good record. Let's be realistic when it comes to defense. And I think as long as you can affect the player and not allow them be able to be effective, that's it. This idea that people are saying that Tottenham were not clinical in their final third. No.
Yeah.
We had block shots. We had defenders shrug people off. We had somebody, make you run a little to the left, and that little 1/2 inch, you're not able to take the shot, and it's not clear enough. That's what you need to do as a defensive team. As long as you don't give them the chance to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, we can't always blame it on them not being clinical. Now, City have more clinical players, but then this is where we step up our game. This is where we step up our game and make sure. Last season, we nullified Haaland to a zero expected goal threat. 0.
Yeah.
Last season. And that was twice. Not once, but in 2 games.
Yeah, he did play well last season against you guys.
So I know he's on form right now, but so is our defense. And I think that strongly, this is where we'll see how much whether or not the offense of City, as everybody has been saying, is really, because now they're saying that they have, as far as most people are concerned this season, so far so good, City have the best attack. That's the way people are phrasing it. And they're phrasing us now as the best defense. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the best defense and the best attack so far in the first 4 games. But I'm confident that we have a defense that can hold out. City has conceded goals this season.
Yeah,
you've conceded goals even from the likes of Ipswich
and Brentford.
Like teams that should not be able to score against you have scored against you, and that tells us something. A team like Arsenal in your 6-yard box, 8-yard in your 18-yard box, your 6-yard box, with set pieces that we're good at, just like you saw against Tottenham. We can punish you with goals, and our defense is way better than all these other teams. If we can hold our defense like we held you last season at the Etihad, and just take our chances like we did against Tottenham, I think we walk away with a win.
Oh, right. See, I think for this game, of course, it's like the best defense. You guys' defense is up there, like it's the best in the league. And for Man City is about attack, creating chances. But then again, Arsenal, honestly, if Arsenal come out the way they played against Spurs, honestly, I would rather prefer Arsenal to play. You see the way Arsenal were all gone blazing. I would rather, but if they come out to play the way you guys, if you guys come out to play the way you did against Spurs, that would be a problem for us, because yes, we consider goals this season, and usually most times, like Man City conceding goals is not usually maybe teams taking shot at us. In a whole game, a team might just have 1 or 2 chances, and that one they might just take advantage of it. And also this season, I would say the goals we've considered against Brentford, it was a mistake from John Stones. It was an individual defensive. It wasn't as if it was a well-worked kind of goal. It's which I think it was also a mistake as well, if I'm not mistaken, from a player. But now the problem is for Spurs, you guys forced them to go wide. You guys they allowed them to go through the middle. You guys didn't allow them to go through the middle. You guys were actually forcing Spurs to go wide most of the time. Now, last season for Man City, I want to say something. We played, I think it was Rodri, Kovacic, and Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield. And I think that Kovacic, I think that makes it a bit rigid. I don't know how to explain it. Not really flexible. This time around now, we have Gundogan back. So we have midfielders now that can actually control the game and find those small spaces to give those passes. Like you see the way Odegaard. We have so I think that might be the difference this season.
That might be the difference for you guys right now, but the difference for us is that the lapses that we had in the left side of our team last season, the Zinchenko's, and we did not have a standard left 8, has also changed for us. So that factor has to be considered as well. You have Gundogan, and we have better defenders now, and we actually have players that can actually carry the ball from defense now. I believe Calafiori will be back for this game. We have Timber in that position, who can also play in midfield. Mikel Merino might be available for the game. We don't know yet. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if he is, then that's another left midfield 8. The only person we're not going to have is Odegaard in this game. I think that, yes, City now has certain players that move the needle for them, but we also have players that have moved the needle for us. We strengthened where we were most strongest. One of the things that we also know how to do better than most teams is score from different positions. You guys try to feed the ball to Haaland. Haaland is usually your main output. And then when he's not able to do it, people take it upon themselves. The Fodens and the Gundogans and the Rodris take it upon themselves. If in the first 20, 30 minutes, you're trying to find Haaland and we're able to block him off and you're not able to score, and we get a set piece and score, you know we're going to park the bus. We've showed you that we know how to park the bus last season.
Of course. But don't you think in this game now, why Pep decides, Haaland just decides to be neutral? He doesn't want to score, just keep it simple. You saw the way Kai Havertz was doing it against Spurs. If I actually get into the position to score, fine. But for this game, it's all about just linking up play.
But then if you do that, that means you guys are the ones who want to play defensive then. Because now you're going to be asking Haaland to drop down into the middle to link up play. And if Haaland is not attacking, getting himself in positions to receive the ball to score, our defenders are having a field day. They just need to watch out for your other guys. Haaland is just keep playing. The difference is for us, the entire team of Arsenal against Tottenham, we're asked to not go forward. We never attacked the front yard you can go watch the whole game. We did not attack. And if you watch Mikel Arteta, because I like to watch the bench cam, Mikel Arteta kept on doing this to them.
Squeeze.
Drop back.
And that's why I said that you guys prevented them from going through the middle.
He kept on doing that. He was like, squeeze, drop back. And everybody obeyed, and they kept on doing what they needed to do. Because he knew that once we got chances in spaces like set pieces, or we've got a chance to do a counter, we would score it. Against City, it's going to be harder to do that because City have quality as well. But one thing I'm saying is the mentality of this Arsenal team against City is no longer that of fear. Last season, there was still a bit of fear. These boys are saying to themselves, "We played you 3 times last season. You did not beat me once. This season will be no different." I don't see why they're going to come in this season and concede crazily to and just concede to City and say, "Well, this season I think they're going to come out, do what they need to do defensively." I can say categorically, this Arsenal team is the most hardworking team for themselves when it comes to attacking and defending together.
Okay.
And so I want to believe that we now have what it takes to go to the Etihad and get 3 points.
Okay. But don't you think, you guys are playing the Champions League on Thursday? Don't you think
Yeah.
that might have an effect? Because on Thursday, you guys will travel to Italy. Then Friday, I'm sure maybe that same Thursday, you guys will come back and you have to play a game on Sunday. For Man City, we're playing in England. We're not traveling. So don't you think that might play a little advantage for us? Apart from
Look,
the attack.
I get, yeah, that might play a factor. But the truth about it is, hey, if we then have to take into accountability those kind of things. Even the players themselves have to take into accountability. If we play Atalanta, let's play a more curtailed game. We don't have to do too much. Get our points and walk out of there. Don't go out and over try and do and overexert yourself and everything. And then player management. If Mikel Arteta is smart against Atalanta, try to hit them in the first half, get the goals, and then the second half, just swap out some key players that you're going to need for Sunday to come and rest, and then put in other people to just lock up the channel and just stay there. Put in more defense, play Jacob Kiwior and play Haven, all these defenders that we have, and make sure that they just hold off the goal till the end of the game and do what you need to do to win there while you can rest other players. So there's ways to deal with that. I look at it this way. It's like if I go, let's say I'm a fighter and I'm going to fight somebody else. We're going to the ring. The other guy has no injuries or whatever it is, blah, blah. But I have a bad shoulder. I need to factor in my bad shoulder into how I'm going to beat this person. I'm not going to make the bad shoulder an excuse. I'm not going to make Atalanta an excuse. I have to figure out a way to protect that shoulder and get off my jabs and win that fight, whether by points, whether by technical knockout, or whether by frustrating the fighter to do something wrong and then he gets disqualified. It's all part of the game. If we get into that game against you guys, and we allow you guys commit yourselves, and you get a yellow card and a couple of key players, they won't want to tackle anymore.
True.
There's many ways to do these things. I think sometimes we just look at it from the footballing side alone.
Footballing side, very true, because
Ateta can tell the boys, make sure you press Gundogan, let him get a yellow card from Gundogan, get a yellow card with Kevin De Bruyne. Let's see what then now happens. Those two don't want to tackle no more. Those two get Rodri to commit. Rodri, we've seen Rodri lose his mind and get a red card. I'll go and ask that player, I'll find out what that player said to Rodri. Reenact that situation because we've seen it done to us against Declan Rice.
Yeah,
we saw a player kick a ball on him, literally kick a ball on him. That's what happened. The ball was rolling, and Declan got the red card because he nudged the ball out. So
because for games like this, apart from the tactical and the football side, I think another important factor is the emotional, like controlling your emotions.
Yeah,
controlling your emotions, because one mistake from a particular player can affect the whole result, like
the whole thing.
the whole thing. But then again, and sometimes players like opponents are very intentional. They try to look for that player in a particular team they can poke.
The emotional player.
Yeah, they can poke.
You look for the emotional player. Like, for example, if I wanted to do it, I'm being honest, it's just that a lot of maybe managers don't like to do it, and I don't think Arteta is that our manager. I would tell one of my players that when you get on the pitch and you get near Rodri, tell Rodri, the first thing you say to him is, mentality, right? Mentality. We're here now. It will piss him off. I'm telling you, it will piss him off.
But don't you think
that's
a mindset? That's a mind game, because now
it's part of it.
I'm very sure Mikel Arteta will play that tape in the dressing room, see what Rodri is saying, and that might force you guys now to come out to play.
He might they will still stick to the manager's tactic. They just won't. This is the thing about players. I think most fans think that when players get emotional, maybe one player can get emotional and try to go off plan, but usually when the manager does something like that, is to spur them up and says, what our game plan is. Now take this energy and this anger that you have, stay with the game plan. If the game plan is to defend and hit them on the counter, that anger, they will defend on the counter so much and wait for that counter on the right time and counter and make sure they score when they get the chance. So, but left to me, like Ben White, you see how Ben White used to poke keepers on the glove. You just be pulling their glove, right? You be annoying them, and then they lose concentration. I'll walk up to Rodri immediately and I'll say to him, mentality, right? I'm here today. It's me and you. And if it's Declan Rice that is marking Rodri, I expect that he should be the one to say that. And then I'll be like, and if I'm Declan, the minute we start, I'm going to nudge him the first time. I will be the first to go and see out to nudge him. Make sure that, yes, let me, I've talked about mentality that you mentioned. I've kicked you on the leg and I'll make sure it's the first warning. So referee is like, I'm warning you. I now want to see your reaction. It's part of the game. It is part of the game.
No,
I know people.
Very true. It's part.
People might not like to hear it.
They do it.
People
like,
might not like to hear it, but hey, like when I did judo, every time I was going to fight someone, if we were going to be, before the fight, I just walk right past where you are and say some remarkable thing that's just going to annoy you. I'll be like, oh, I hear you, this guy, he points your Nagi specialist. I've got your counter. And he just look at me like, I have your count. And then I'll stand there, stare at you, do something silly, and then walk back to my corner and go and wait till the colors come and fight. Usually, that in itself is already angering the person. Like, they just really want to come out. And in my mind, I'm like, just avoid being knocked out. If I can score 3 points or score 5 points, or if I can score one Wazari, you're in trouble. I'm going to win that fight. I'll just run down the clock. I'm running the clock down. So,
Yeah, but for me now, like another thing I want to say is I'm trying to picture how Pep Guardiola will approach this game, because the wingers, the players he will put on the wing will be key, because now we have, if we put Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish, it's all about control. If we put Savinho and Doku, it's all about trying to pin the fullbacks, trying to see, because they are very quick with their feet, trying to see if they can actually make mistake. You understand that kind of thing? Those fullbacks will make mistake. And also the midfield, for me, I know defensively we are not as good as Arsenal defensively, but not that our defense is bad. But I always wish our defense was like, you see the way Arsenal defense is tight like that, because I know one counter attack, something can happen, especially how Chelsea played us last season. We could see what was happening when Chelsea played us last season. They were just, anytime they had a counter, felt as if something was going to happen for them. So now, if he plays Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish, these are players that hardly loses the ball. So I'm guessing maybe we might not, the counter attack might be limited. But players like Savinho and Doku, whereby the higher the risks, the better the reward, in terms of, they want to take on the fullbacks, dribble and create chance. And you can just lose the ball, a very quick pass to Declan Rice, and before you know it, Martinelli is making a run and space is open. So for me, I'm like, who will Pep Guardiola play?
Even if Pep goes with the Grealish and if you go with the control football, the thing is, you're still coming up against a team that is very, very solidly defensive. So you're going to have a lot of the ball, but not be able to do a lot with it. Which is where you're going to try and do the over the top to Haaland. You're going to try to find Haaland, because he can score from anywhere. And if Haaland is pocketed, every time that ball comes in, we're literally sending that ball back on the counter. So whichever one you use, if we sit back, whatever style you guys use, we have the advantage of the counter. Yeah. And we have the advantage of good set pieces if we get to the other side without scoring those counters. So for me, I'm whatever Pep plays. I think at the end of the day, whatever Pep plays is probably good enough to come and give Arsenal a good game. And you're at home. That's a home advantage for you guys. You might be able to do some stuff at home. But if Mikel Arteta, from what I've seen and how adaptable he has become, where he reads a team and says, I'm going to play this team a different way than I play the other team. And because my players have the capacity to be able to play multiple roles, I can play them in those roles and we can actually get the business done. If he does what he needs to do, I think we walk away with this with 3 points. I think we can do it this time around. I think this will be our first time coming to the Etihad and getting 3 points. And I think it's due. It is about time that this Arsenal team stands up to be counted. This is we're done with this rhetoric. I'm not making excuses for this team again. I said it this season. I'm not making excuses. When they were going to Tottenham last week, when we did a stream, what did I say? I told you point blank. I said, I'm going there with, and I'm getting remember I called it clean sheet.
Yeah, clean sheet.
I said I'm getting a clean sheet and I'm getting 2-0. I expected 2-0. Yeah. I'm not disappointed that we got 1-0 and walked away with it, but I expected that if we got 2 more set pieces in that game, we score 1 more. Because they're not good at set pieces. The same thing, if you look at City, what is City not good at? You can force City's fullbacks to make mistakes. We've seen it this season, right? And because we are solid at the back, it frustrates their midfield and attack every time they come forward.
But,
And
okay, go
yeah,
on, there.
go on.
Sorry.
And I'm saying like, and that in itself is a good thing when you can frustrate them to like 60, 70 minutes and try and get yourself in your to use some of the best things that your team is good at, which is set pieces, counter attacks through Martinelli. And then Raheem Sterling, for some reason, loves to play against you guys. I don't know why, but he does. And it's a factor. He knows the Emirates ground. He knows the Etihad ground.
Yeah.
He knows that ground. He's enjoyed playing in that ground. So, there's something about enjoying playing somewhere and having that factor as well on your team. I won't be shocked if he scores the dagger to win. Do I think we'll concede to City? If we play like we played last season, we're not conceding to you guys.
Okay, so you believe you guys because the way I see it, I don't think Arsenal can actually stop City from creating chance. The problem now is taking those chances. Arsenal are very good defensively, but I don't think Arsenal has what it takes to stop Kevin De Bruyne from having his game, or a Bernardo Silva, or if you're folding, like these guys from creating chances. That's why I said against that, like for that's why I said for Spurs were actually getting into very good positions, but their decision making was very poor.
We can't put it on decision making. I beg to differ.
No,
I mean,
no, because Brendan Johnson was that guy was.
but the truth is, you see, it takes away from all the hard work that Arsenal put in to play the way they played. When we say, oh, their decision making was bad, that means that Arsenal was so poor that Tottenham was even poorer by making bad decisions. That's why Tottenham did not score. No, it's because we made them not score. It's because we played a certain way. We did it to you guys last season at the Etihad. You created spaces, you created chances, you got into dangerous positions, but you just couldn't let it off. Why? Because of how we were set up. It wasn't because you guys were terrible. You weren't terrible. You played a good game against us, but you just could not score. So my point is, like, we can't sit here and I won't allow it though, where we will sit and say that Tottenham game is because of Tottenham's bad decision in the final third. Tottenham did not take shots off. Why was Pep Matassa taking shots from outside 30 yards? Because he couldn't get any closer.
Yes, now they couldn't.
So that's my point. So when we set up to put you in a position where you can't get closer, you have to be shooting from 30 yards. Is that because you're poor, or is that because we set up correctly?
No, yeah, you guys set up correctly there, but Spurs, like that's what I'm saying, because Spurs got into they were getting to your box to create something happen, but they couldn't just do it because, of course, you guys were quite deep and all that. But I don't think, if that's what I'm saying, if Man City get into those kind of situations like 6 times, even if we don't score, I see Spurs could not even create. I see us creating something that maybe a Raya could save, because Raya has been very good this season for you guys. Or maybe it could be the person didn't miss the chance. That kind of situation. But I don't really, in as much as I know you guys are very good defensively, I don't think you guys can actually stop City like in a whole.
No, we're not going to stop City. See, and this is what I try and explain. Like, I get where you're coming from. We're not probably going to stop Kevin De Bruyne from creating an amazing pass. He will create an amazing pass. The bottom line is the way we set up, and which is what I've loved about when I hear Arteta speak and the things that he says to the players. When he says things like, if you don't win your duel, that's when I'm mad. As long as that ball doesn't go in the back of the net, De Bruyne will have amazing passes. As long as it doesn't go in the back of the net, forget it. You don't win the game. You have players that can create a lot of great stuff for you guys. As long as we pocket Haaland like we did last season and you don't score. Yeah. If you don't score, you don't win the game.
Very true.
So for me, I'm not even worried about what you're trying to create anymore. I'm worried about how we are trying to set up to make sure that this ball doesn't get in the back of the net. Whatever you do, even if it means De Bruyne crosses the ball, Haaland kicks it, does the bicycle kick. If your job, Ben White, is to make sure that you're in the position to just let it glance over your head to a corner, over your head to a corner. It's a great chance created. You can create all the big opportunities, but if it doesn't end up in the back of the net, it doesn't matter at the end of the 90 minutes. So City will create chances. City will create a lot of chances, definitely. But the question is, can it go past? Can it get past this Arsenal defense?
That's what I'm saying.
You hear TalkSport and all these other people making fun of Arsenal defenders who celebrate every time we defend against a goal as if we scored. And I'm like, yes, because that's what we do very well now. We defend very well, and we celebrate the fact that, because that might as well could have been a goal. It could have been a goal, but the fact that we can stop it from going in the back of the net at whatever cost, it don't matter if you like dribble 5 people, 6 people, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you don't get the ball in the back of the net, it don't make no difference.
What I would like to say is if Arsenal scores first, it will be very difficult for us. Very, very, that one I know to be very, very difficult for us. But if we score first, I think that will, if we score, the way I see it, if we score in that first half, that might change the game plan because that might force you guys now to come out. Find it. We might now find a little space. But I know if Arsenal score first,
it might change the game plan, or like from what I've seen, how Mikel Arteta, he'll tell the boys, breathe, play the same way we've been playing. Sure, they've been able to score now. They've got a chance because you allowed them. Don't allow any more goals in. Hold the ball, still play, and then let's still hit them on the counter. You don't need to rush out. Because you rush out, you're opening yourself up to City, who is able to score you multiple ways. That doesn't make any sense with the experience that we have now over the years playing City. And I think that this time around, even Arsenal fans that are talking about this game, even without Odegaard, are not really panicking against City. They know it's an important game, but this is not 2 seasons ago where like, oh, you can't go, Man City, Jesus, man, we're finished.
No, very true.
This is not last season again where everybody's like, Etihad, you guys won't get anything from it, And then the same people who said we would not get anything from the Etihad last season started saying, but why did you guys go and play defensively at the Etihad? You didn't go there to play to win. But you guys said we were not going to win at all. Most people said we weren't going to win. So I'm happy with where we are at as a team mentally. And I think we're mentally prepared to come to the Etihad. We're mentally prepared to come take 3 points. We have what it takes to be able to come and take the 3 points. I'm not trying to put City down. City is a very formidable team and a very difficult team to be able to do that too. But if not now, when? At what stage do we say, okay, you need to go to the champions' home and beat them? If you want to be the champion, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, but Dayo, do you think it's a must-win game for either Man City or Arsenal? Is it a must-win game?
For Arsenal. It's a must-win game for Arsenal.
At this point of the season?
Because we can't do this point of the season with Man City. Man City is a team that starts slow usually every season. This season, we've seen them start fast. And if they carry on with this momentum to the end of the season, they win again. Let's not fool ourselves.
No, but because
nobody has the luxury. No team has the luxury of saying, "No, we were just 5 games in. It doesn't matter if I drew." No, it matters when you're playing against Man City.
Fair enough. Because 5-point gap is quite
because last year again. I'm going to go back to last year. You won 28 games. We won 28 games. You drew 7 games. That's what made you win the league.
Yeah,
we drew 5.
I lost 3. You lost 5,
and we lost 5.
Yeah,
that one game difference. We win 1 game, we win the league. That's the margins. So this could be that 1 game for me. So I'm never looking at it as it's 5 games to the season, 6 games. And that's why against Tottenham, I said we need to do whatever it takes to go there and get our points. And for me, I would rather get all 9 points, which I've gotten Tottenham, Atlanta, and go there, get City. Let City know that we're coming for that spot. That's it. Like, that's how you show that you want to be a champion. There's no more dilly-dallying around about, let's just try and get a draw with them. Let's just see if we can stay there. No, there's no stay there. If not for that stupid, silly red card and that nonsense, that silly referee that cost us that tie game with Brighton, I believe that if you want to win the league now going forward, because of what Pep Guardiola has set as a standard, you have to get 114 points. You have to win all 38 games. If you cannot win 38 games, I'm serious. If you cannot win 38 games, don't count yourself as somebody who wants to try and win.
Now you want me to say 115?
No. Because
we'll do 115.
No. Because Pep, I'm telling you,
we can't do 115. 115 is not possible.
It's not possible because Pep has capacity to be able to do that.
Yeah, very. I don't think. To be honest, I don't. No. You know the way we're going this season. People feel we'll go unbeaten. This is. I don't.
Let me tell you why.
It can happen, but I don't think it will happen. I don't.
There were seasons where Liverpool got 99 points and did not win the league.
And you know,
just think about 19. Like, people are not understanding why I'm always like every game is a must win.
No. For this Pep Guardiola era, a draw feels like a loss, which I know.
A draw is a loss.
A draw is a loss.
It's a loss.
But you know what I want to say there? Do you think, let's say if Arsenal wins this game now, they are 1 point ahead. Do you think it's a guarantee like the league is over for Man City?
No, it's not. After this, Arsenal needs to now go on and win every single game till January. Take the January break, come back, because City is going to be coming to the Emirates, and that is where City can turn things around. I believe that every other person, the same way, Tottenham is coming to the Emirates. I'm glad we've played those people. Villa, they're coming to the Emirates. I'm glad we've played them already. I'm happy that we were able to play some of our tough games at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And if we can win those tough games, remember they're coming back to your home. At your home, it's home advantage. This is where you dictate the pace. They know that when they come there, it's not going to be easy for them. So they're not going to make it easy for us coming to them. So I don't think it's over. 1 point difference doesn't mean anything. 2 seasons ago, it was 8 points different. Did it mean anything? No, City came by and won.
No, because if you, let's say you guys win now, is a different mindset now. It gives you that big boost and confidence.
It gives us the boost, but doesn't mean that
it
doesn't mean that it's over, because it's City we're playing. So the season we had 8 points ahead of City, 8 points. City came back and won that season again and beat us with 5 points. Listen to this. City came back, won the league, and still beat us with 5 points, but we were 8 points ahead, which means 13-point gap was collected by City in the last.
But that one was just towards the end of the season. That's where you guys fell off for that season.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So,
and it came with the fact that it was your first time. The experience wasn't there. I don't think that situation happened.
I hear that. Which is what I'm saying. Which is what I'm saying that. So even now that we have the experience, even if I'm 15 points ahead of City and there's only 3 more games to go, I don't care. Those 3 games are must-win games. No, they're must. And the reason I say this, I'll tell you why I say this. When I look back at the Invincibles, the Arsenal Invincibles, because I saw those boys play, I watched them play. The year we went invincible, that we won the league without losing a game. We had won the league against Leicester, and there were 4 more games to play. Like the league was over. We had won. There was 4 more games to play. We didn't need to win those 4 games, but we went invincible, still winning those 4 games. That's the mentality of the Arsenal that I know. That's why I said, for me, even if it is 3 more games and you're at 15 points ahead, I don't care. I don't care, because I saw my team win the league already against Leicester City, or what I think it was Leicester, if I'm not mistaken. We won it. I think it was Chelsea. We beat Chelsea. The next game was Leicester and somebody else. We had 4 more games to play. We didn't have to win those games. We did not have to win them. But the mentality of the team at the time was, it doesn't matter. The war is still on.
Okay. What was your prediction for the game?
My prediction, I think City will score a goal. I predict 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal?
Yes.
So you really believe you guys can come to the Etihad and get a result?
Finally, if not now, when? I'm not.
To be honest,
we can't make excuses anymore.
Okay.
If we're not able to, at this stage, come to the Etihad and get a point after what we have done at the Etihad in previous years, which is lose there, and then finally break the jinx, and then in the same 1 year where we played the same City 3 times, they're not able to beat us, and we are not pumped up enough. This is like saying you go into a fight and the referee say, score, draw, tie. You fought somebody 3 times, they say tie. Then now they come and do a 4th fight. You'll be gingered that this person that used to beat me before had to tie me 3 times. I even won 1. It's now high time I really step up my game and look at where I need to, improve. I think we can come down, take a 3 score. And honestly speaking, now I'll change my prediction. 1-0 Arsenal. And I want a clean sheet.
1-0 Arsenal.
I want a clean sheet. 1-0 Arsenal.
Because the way I see Man City Arsenal, I feel it has gotten to that point where, and Arsenal are very good defensively. My own prediction, I think this game will be a 1-1 game. And I even feel if we even come to the Emirates, I think it has gotten to that point where they'll just be taking points from each other. You saw the way you guys won at the Emirates last season, whereby it was like sort of a deflection, but the game plan was there and everything. We couldn't create much. You guys couldn't create much. I feel maybe something like those kind of fine margins maybe that kind of deflection goal might decide the game. But I feel ever since then, I just feel going forward, it will be a game where it will be a point. If we win Arsenal, I'll be very happy. But just because I know Arsenal are very good. We'll get into very good positions. I know we can be very, very. Sometimes Haaland can be very. Haaland against Saliba and Gabriel. has not been the best. Basically, it's not been the best in the last. I say last season especially, it's not been the best. But then again, taking our chances, sometimes Man City we can just throw away chances. But just that Arsenal defense, for that record Arsenal has, because it means they are doing something right. That your away record, it means Arsenal as a team they are doing something. I see it to end 1-1. I think it will be a 1-1 game. And honestly, to be honest with you, I think it will be a boring game, Dayo. I can't hear you.
I was on mute. Sorry. I'm going to say again. I don't care if we play the most boring football this season.
No, I think it will be a boring game, like by both teams, because control. Both managers want to control. I feel it will be a boring.
Let it be boring as long
and it will end as a draw.
As long as I walk away with my 3 points. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
Okay.
1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
All right, guys, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and you can always get to Dayo's channel. The link will be in the description. And thank you so much, Dayo, for coming. And hopefully on Sunday we'll meet. After Sunday we'll meet to talk. Like I said, for me, I guess it will be a draw. Like you said, 1-0, but we will be there.
We will be there. We will be there.
Thank you very much, Dayo.
All right, Ben.